I've got a very simple topic for this video, and it's a topic that people are scared to discuss. But as you guys know, I'm always open to every possible scenario on Bitcoin, right? I want to make it very, very, very clear. I don't think this is going to happen. But I will be discussing in this video what I think needs to happen in order for Bitcoin to become so damaged that it would be potentially beyond repair, and so damaged to the point that I would not be happy to invest in Bitcoin and I'd probably sell all my current Bitcoin. Again, what would need to happen for me to, get to that point on a logical basis? I don't think it's going to happen at all, personally. I'm a very big believer in Bitcoin, but we need to be open to that scenario. We need to have a price point where Bitcoin crosses that price and we think, okay, this actually doesn't look good, and we should throw that whole hodl mentality out the window. Let's get into it. So I want to expand on a point that I made in the intro there. There is a toxic mentality amongst long-term Bitcoin investors. The hodl mentality, which is HDL, right? Hold on for your dear life, is toxic. It's a toxic mentality. It doesn't make sense. It's completely irrational. It's completely logical. It's basically saying, guys, ignore all of the logic, ignore all the price action, ignore everything and just hold, because you're just blind. What you're doing is you're putting a blindfold on. You're clicking buy and you're never selling, right? And there's no point in which you think you're wrong. It's complete bias. It's utter bias on every level, right? Just because the fundamentals of Bitcoin are good, it does not mean Bitcoin is guaranteed to succeed. Again, before I get comments in the comments section saying, oh, Wolf, you're bearish. No, I think Bitcoin will succeed. I think Bitcoin will be at a higher price in a year from now than it is now. I would almost certain about that. I'm a 95% sure that will be the case. I believe in the 4-year cycle. I believe Bitcoin will reach all-time highs again. However, again, I'm not the kind of person who's going to put a blindfold on and say, oh, it's all good, buy everything, buy your entire net worth, leverage your house, it's all good, it's going to go up 100% guarantee. Because it's not guaranteed, right? Nothing's guaranteed. There are many things that could happen to Bitcoin that could severely damage the macro structure. Might not kill it, right? They might not kill Bitcoin, but they will put a little spanner in the works when it comes to that long-term macro structure. The macro structure I'm talking about, of course, is the 4-year cycle theory, and this is the only macro structure that I deem is relevant on Bitcoin. Based on the halving, every 4 years we see the halving. Within that 4-year cycle, we see 1 year of bull market, 1 year of bear market, 2 years of accumulation, right? That's the 4-year cycle theory. The reason why that's the only cycle I care about, the reason why that's the only trend I care about on Bitcoin is because it's a trend that's actually based on a fundamental event, the halving, and it's supported very strongly by the traditional markets, by the USA's election cycle. So not only do we have a cycle based on the halving, we also have the election cycle supporting the 4-year cycle. So very, very strong. That's the only trend I care about, right? That's the only trend I care about. So if we do see what I'm about to mention, would it kill Bitcoin? Probably not. Would it destroy the 4-year cycle? Yes. And if it destroys the 4-year cycle, Bitcoin loses basically all of its long-term predictability, which is not good. Okay, so what needs to happen? Okay, there's 2 things that need to happen for Bitcoin to be destroyed beyond reasonable repair, in my opinion, right? And again, I don't think these things are going to happen, but we do need to be aware of them. The first of which is this, okay? This isn't a trend yet because we've only seen 2 examples, but we have seen an 86% drop in the 2014 bear market. We saw an 84% drop in the 2018 bear market. And so far on Bitcoin, we have seen a drop of roughly, let's just see here. I was the wrong tool. So far, we've seen a drop on Bitcoin of roughly 76%, right? So my point here is this, okay? Bitcoin moves up in valuation. The market caps get bigger and bigger. We see diminishing returns. We've seen diminishing returns to the upside. Okay, we've seen the gains on Bitcoin per cycle get less and less. Right, peak to peak in 2013 to 2018, for example, was like 1,600. Peak to peak 2018 to 2021 was only 240, 250%. Right, so the gains per cycle. Okay, so diminishing returns are occurring to the upside. Therefore, in order for Bitcoin to remain in a healthy state, diminishing returns also need to be occurring to the downside, okay? We saw a 2% diminished return in the bear market drop from 2014 to 2018. We should be seeing another diminished return to the downside as well. If we don't, that's worrying, okay? So this is my first point. If Bitcoin drops further than 84% below its all-time high, meaning if Bitcoin bottoms out lower than 11,000 USD, okay? That is worrying to me because that means we've seen diminishing returns to the upside, but we haven't seen it to the downside, which represents weakness on Bitcoin. That is a red flag. That's a warning sign, okay? Now, my second thing is this. It's very simple. It's very simple. It's not very complicated, right? It's very simple stuff. My second thing is this, right? If we do not bottom out in Q4, that's a warning sign as well. I want to briefly interrupt this video to talk about the BitGet exchange. Now, the BitGet exchange has 5 times lower fees than Binance, which is commonly referred to as the cheapest exchange in the cryptocurrency market. It's also non-KYC or voluntarily KYC, so you can stay true to the fundamental values of cryptocurrency, one of which being anonymity, of course. It's also got a security fund in there, so if you lose your funds by fault of the exchange or by personal fault, you can make a claim and actually retrieve your funds back. On top of all of this, if you sign up using my referral link, you can get access to exclusive discounts and rewards. This is the best exchange on the cryptocurrency market, and I use it personally, and so should everyone at the Wolves of Crypto YouTube channel. Now, if you're interested in actually learning how to trade for yourself, you can check out the Crypto Academy via the website link in the description below. This is a course developed by myself and Mega Crypto, a 10-unit course taking you through every single step from step 1 to step infinite about how to become a trader. Go ahead and check that out and chuck us an email at cryptoacademycourses@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you with the full information and payment information if you're interested. Thanks guys for watching the advertisements. Let's get back into the video. Because as you can see by the date range trend on Bitcoin, the 4-year cycle very clearly indicates, you can pause the video and look at the date range trend here, right? There's multiple factors to it and it's all color coded in the top left-hand corner. 4-year cycle very clearly indicates that we should be seeing a bottom before 2023, right? Most likely within this month, right? That's what the trend suggests, but December's good room for error, right? So essentially Q4, we see a bottom in Q4 as per the 4-year cycle theory, okay? Now, each one of those things, both dropping further down than 84% and going later than Q4, they're bad enough alone. But if both of those things happen at the same time, for example, we drop down further than 84% and we're dropping down deep into 2023, therefore we've invalidated the diminishing returns to the downside, and we're dropping later than Q4, invalidating the 4-year cycle theory, that will be insanely bearish for Bitcoin in a long-term structure. Right? If one of those things happen, okay, yeah, we drop down more than 84%, okay, I guess, okay, yeah, maybe. If we, drop down, we're still dropping by Q1, yeah, again, it's really sketchy stuff, it's not ideal, but we can cope with it, right? But if both of these things happen, if we're going down more than 84% and we're going down deep into 2023, that means 2 quite important trends, specifically the 4-year cycle trends, way more important, by the way, have been invalidated. And the long-term structure of Bitcoin has been tossed out the window. This is not trivial, guys. We're talking about 10 years since the first halving of historical trends being tossed out the window. If that occurs, we do need to consider the health of Bitcoin. What would I do in that occurrence? What would I do, for example, if Bitcoin drops down below 11K? First of all, I don't care about wicks. I would be waiting for weekly closes. If we saw a weekly candle close below 11K, I'd be getting concerned. I'd probably start scaling out of my position. And I tell you right now, if we were seeing that and it was also Q1, Q2, 2023 and the 4-year cycle was getting invalidated by the second, I would be out. I would be out of this market and I would not touch it again until I'm even very, very confident in a trend reversal of some sort, because that is ridiculously bearish, okay? We need these macro trends to remain. The only reason people are comfortable doing long-term investments in anything ever is because they're comfortable with the long-term based on macro trends. If we have no macro trends, we have no long-term predictability, we have no long-term investors, institutions aren't touching Bitcoin, okay? So it's very important that these trends remain in place. So again, I've got 2 main things that I'm looking at here for doomsday scenarios that we need to watch out for. First one is dropping below 11K, I can't spell, below 11K, okay? And the second one is not bottoming out in Q4. If either one of those 2 things happens, or in the worst case scenario, if both of those 2 things start to occur, I'm out of Bitcoin. I'm out of there. And I can mark my words on that. I will not be holding Bitcoin when we have no macro trend to support it. That is blind investing at its finest. So those are 2 things I'm looking out for the doomsday scenario. Again, I don't think they're going to happen. I personally don't believe they're going to happen. But we do need to be aware of them because we are getting to the point in time where we've only got a month and a half left of Q4, okay? We're getting close. And we're at 16K, 11K is not super, super far away, okay? So we need to be aware of these things here. So I just made that video just to kind of clear things up there. Again, I'm not expecting that to happen, but again, we need to be aware. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.